When it comes down to Joe Biden, he seems to see flaws in everybody else except for himself. He sees none in himself. And he really is the last one to talk about Jim Crow. This is the very man that didn't want Black students sitting next to his blonde haired, blue eyed child and had very white supremacist bills that he passed. And now he want to talk about Trump and Jim Crow. To be honest with you, I don't think one is any better than the other. And quite frankly, if we're going to keep a racist in office, we should just go ahead and keep Trump. Again, why should we swap out Trump for a Biden? Screw Joe Biden, just keep Trump. This came out on Fox News, ladies and gentlemen, and I laughed when I saw the title. Biden says Trump GOP are letting Jim Crow make comeback. Wow. Former Vice President Joe Biden charged Saturday that Jim Crow is squeaking back in as he emphasized voting rights at the first presidential campaign stop in South Carolina. That's right. Joe Biden and I believe his wife Jill are down in South Carolina. Wow. So if he's in South Carolina, y'all, he's heading to a Black church. You know, see, that's what these candidates just don't get it. They don't want to do anything but smile with Black people, go to the church and chat to Black people, and eat a chicken dinner with Black people, and they think they got our vote sealed now. That ain't gonna work. Okay, those days are gone. Now we want to know what you are going to do specifically for Black people. Don't try to come with this everybody stuff. This everybody stuff ain't gonna work. We didn't ask you about everybody. We said, what are you going to do for Black people? You've done for everybody else in this establishment except for us. We are still waiting for you. And we're not going to continue to wait. In criticizing Republican efforts to adopt more stringent voting rules, including identification requirements and curtailing early voting hours, Biden recalled the racial segregation laws of the past. Yeah, but when you were in the Senate, you wanted to ensure those segregation laws stay in place, Joe Biden. You're not fooling nobody. We saw what your track record is, and it was very, very anti Black. But you are talking about Trump? Really? You've got Jim Crow squeaking back in, he said, referring to an era before civil rights movement. You know what happens when you have an equal right to vote? They lose. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Biden knows all too well about Jim Crow, civil rights, and you saw what this man from Delaware sounds like. I did a video on it. He sounds like somebody out of Kentucky. And he did for years. Joe Biden was for mass incarcerating Black people. He was for this. Go look at his track record. No man that had a problem with Black students sitting next to his blonde eyed, blue eyed, whatever, blonde hair, blue eyed child and And then him trying and fighting hard to get tough on crimes. And remember, he said that we were so violent, okay? He even used the word predator to describe Black people. It's amazing. He never uses that word to describe his own people. And look at all the mass shootings that are done and all of the rapes that are happening, and they're walking away out of the courtroom. But that's not a that's not a predator to Joe Biden. We are. And Hillary Clinton used that same terminology, predators, super predators. So believe me, they're not the only two in the Democratic Party that used that term. They were just the only two that came public to say it. There's plenty more. But he wants to talk about Jim Crow. Wow. You didn't do nothing to stop Jim Crow, did you, Joe Biden? You were in the Senate for a long time, and when you were talking about schooling and segregated schools and stuff, that was back in the 70s. And you wanted to keep the schools segregated. And he tried to say the super predators, the Black people, we don't have no redeeming qualities, as if his racist ass has some. Wow. What a subject to bring up, Joe Biden. Biden centered much of his trip around the need to restore decency to the White House. Your state motto is, "While I breathe, I hope," he said at the rally after continuing his full-throated um, denunciation of President Donald Trump. It's not a joke. We're breathing, but God, we have to have that. We have to have hope. He kept up that theme at a private evening fundraiser, telling several dozen donors that he expects a nasty race from Trump. This guy is going to go after me and family, Biden said, recalling his grandchildren telling him before his announcement that they expect Trump and others to bring up family details, including his son Hunter's divorce. Wow. I don't know why Trump would bring up Hunter Biden's divorce. Didn't Don Jr. just divorce his wife after having an affair? I don't know who benefits from bringing that up. And why would the Black community care about Hunter Biden's divorce? That has nothing to do with reparations or us. I don't care about that. Biden said, "There are so many nicknames I want to give this guy." And he drew laughter when he joked that he'd start with clown. But he added that he doesn't want to respond in kind. The only place he has any confidence is in the mud, Biden said, because the president doesn't understand how to respond to issues. Wow. And you do? Man, I am so not defending Trump, but I'm just saying it makes no sense to swap out one racist for another. It really don't. Keep the races you know. Biden said he will answer Trump directly in the future without name calling. He recalled saying in 2016 that in high school, he'd have taken him behind the barn and beat the hell out of Trump. Guess what? I probably shouldn't have done that, Biden said. The presidency is an office that requires dignity and reestablishing respect and standing. Biden will continue his trip Sunday by worshiping at a black church in Columbia. Oh my. I told y'all he was down there in South Carolina to go to a black church. Oh boy. These candidates are going to have to learn that is not enough. It is not enough. The days of coming to visit us at the black church, that just don't have any bang anymore. It really doesn't. And, it just go to show you Joe Biden is not going to get with the program. You saw what his track record is like. Joe Biden had a lot of disdain through his political career towards the black community. And it is amazing to me how he wants to go to church and get in front of that church and talk about some Jim Crow era coming back by Trump and the GOP and, get everybody all worked up and, they're more racist and you should vote for me and stay with the Democrats because, they're bringing Jim Crow back. And, that scare talk that they used to come and still do come in front of the black community with and think they're going to stir us all up and everybody's going to get into a panic and go pull the lever for the racist Democrat instead. Well, it simply won't work, Joe Biden. I'm a person, I don't like Republicans and I don't like Democrats. I feel that you both have done harm to the black community. I feel that you both have been around for centuries and you have yet to do one thing significant for the black community. Whenever you do something, you always want to put that everybody spin on it. But I notice when you do for them, you don't start saying, well, we got to do this for everybody. When you do things for the LGBTQ community, when you do things for the white community, when you do things for the Jewish community, and so on and so forth, I notice you don't have that everybody sentiment in that discussion. Or when you're talking about immigration, what you're going to do for immigrants. I don't know, the way I see it, the immigrants even got a leg up on the black community. They got sanctuary cities, sanctuary counties, sanctuary states where ICE can't come in there and get them. They are shielded and protected from the police. We don't have that. We need to be shielded and protected from your crazy ass cops up in here. See, when Biden, if you go and ask him, what are you going to do for black people? He's going to give that same answer we have heard from other Democratic candidates. They're going to give the infamous everybody answer, and it's just not cutting it. They don't get it. And you better start standing there talking about black people and what you're going to do for us, just like you start firing off about everybody else that you're going to do for. It's not optional or open to discussion. Please tell me what you think. This is downright laughable as far as I'm concerned. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. And this is how the Democratic Party campaigns to Black folks, ladies and gentlemen. Peace, family.